Hi everybody! Now I'm going to do the sign that won the contest, and it was Capricorn and Aries. So congratulations! So I'm gonna shuffle the cards. Usually I do that in advance, but you all are saying that you love listening to the shuffling of the cards. So I will do that for you. What is the message for Capricorn? In September 2019. And this will be for Sun, Moon and Rising. In Capricorn. Capricorn for September 2019. Now we invite the ancestors, God, and the mighty angels and the divine into this spread. Give us clear answers. I'll put this card aside because it jumped out. It's not been an easy time for you, I can see, because you are obviously feeling trapped about something. Maybe you are not in touch with your emotions. Maybe you have a lot of ideas that you just can't get together. Maybe you have thoughts that is interrupting with the constructive actions. Maybe you are afraid to be tied or bound to something. And maybe some of you have to go back to where you was to move on, that you have to start all over with something. Some of you might be a little bit lazy and wishing that, hoping that other people would do your work that you don't like, that you don't have as much energy and maybe you feel like you don't have the stamina or the endurance, what you call it in English. Maybe some of you may not listen to good advice that you are getting, that you have that you maybe have what is it called? Maybe you don't have not have the propensity that you might have the propensity to overanalyze your problems, that you have easy to go in defense position. Maybe some of you feel an inner chaos or worry, that something is unsettling for you. Maybe some of you feel overwhelmed by your surroundings, restrictions. Maybe your social skills is not as good in September. Or maybe you have limited, that you see yourself a little bit limited in your opinions about yourself. Maybe some of you is taking the role of being a victim for your circumstances. Maybe some of you are just looking for salvation, to get out of it. Maybe you feel that thing is working against you, both on your inside and outside. Oh, Capricorn. Oh shit, Capricorn. Okay. in the newly past, there has been some worries about maybe there are somebody that is in a fire sign that has caused a lot of trouble for you and worry. To say at least there is somebody that has been illoyal to you, that has not stood up for, that has disappointed you in a big way. And it's most likely a woman. And that woman might be a fire sign or have sun, moon, or rising in a fire sign. Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. I clearly see that this woman is have been unstable, and it could be you also. I have to say that also. It could be you doing this, but you know who it is if somebody has done that to you, or you are the person that's doing this. But usually it seems like there has been an trusted friend or colleague that has made promises that he or she was not thinking about keeping. It seems like you have trusted someone that you shouldn't have trusted. The card that comes in recent past or past at all is difficulties can come from a woman that is very jealous and a woman that is very vindictive and jealous of you. It can stand for a woman that is very unstable and likes to mess things up, and she can be very offended for nothing. And she likes to mess things up, and she can be offended by the most innocent things. And the advice is that you keep her in a distance, because if not, she will try to take over your life. I don't know why, but I feel like it could be some of you Capricorns, but I feel mostly it's like you have been offended. But I will there is something that is unfinished too with this. That is for September, and it seems that something is lost, but there is also something that you have won. It seems like it has been a lot of very hurtful emotions, that you feel emotionally wounded inside, and deep sorrow. Maybe a ideal personal relationship or a belief or maybe the trust to somebody else has been thrown at the floor and stamped on. It seems like September, and maybe even now, and out September, there has been a lot of melancholy and a lot of missing somebody and broken dreams. But certainly there is something that is lost, but there is also something left, something you soon will discover. It may seem like you are turning back to old wounds and old emotions and scars that you just can't let go at the moment. And that you feel despair, and you can't understand why or when it went wrong. But at the same time, deep inside you know there is other ways that is just waiting to be discovered. If this is not just a friendship or a relationship, but is a lover, it seems like there has been a promise that has been broken promises, and that there has been some kind of deceiving. And that this betrayal, yeah, it really seems that somebody has betrayed you big time. Not necessarily that they have been unfaithful, not necessarily that, but a broken promise, or they have not kept their promises or something. Or it in a little bit easier way, but this card is never easy. It can seem like it's that there are disappointments over your partner on some level, or lonely emotions, or a feeling of wasting inside the relationship. Maybe one of you is more supporting and demonstrative than the other, or at least sees it like that yourself, whether it's right or not. But you just keep on focusing on your loss instead of seeing because you know deep inside you there is opportunities and ways and new things to discover, but it just seems like you can't let go of this pain or old emotions, and that you continue to go back because it's not all lost in that card, because there are opportunities waiting for you, and if you look deep inside yourself, you know that is the truth. But regardless, it seems like this is a hard time for you, Capricorn. And somebody of you are feeling a deep sorrow for a loss, whether it's a friend or a partner. And as I said, at least it is just disappointment. But there are somebody has let the stagnation and the boredom into their life, and especially on the emotional level. Maybe the emotions doesn't flow anymore, or there is a little feeling of unsettling. There seems to be some dissatisfaction with yourself or with relationship or friendship or colleagues. And maybe you are in a mild depression. Maybe things has been too safe, too long. That new interest and friendships and companies has to come. But it seems like you feel too tired or self-absurd to look after it. Maybe a short vacation could be a smart move right now. Or a long weekend away from the usual circumstances, and that could be to help you a lot. Just get away a little while from your everyday circumstances and everyday life. It seems like you have had an emotional scar and that you are afraid to get hurt again. Maybe you are offered love and there is possibilities to develop a relationship, but the doubt and the uncertainty stops the relationship to blossom. Maybe a misunderstood need for safety that builds on fear keeps you from taking new chances. And for an established relationship, maybe it's the time to reconsider things. Use some time to do nice things together and put some fresh energy into something that has been to something that has become quite boring, actually. It seems like there is people offering you good things, but you just don't want to you only want to focus on your own thing. You putting your arms in front of your chest and you just, nah, I'm not taking this. I want to sit here and feel bad and focus on what I already have, and it's time to move on or to put something fresh into a relationship if you are in a relationship that has been getting quite boring. And when it comes to conflicts in September, it's not an easy card, and I wish I could tell you good news, but I will do that, but because not all is lost, you know. There is a big chance for you to start something over or change something completely. And the conflict seems to be change. When this card comes up, you can be sure that something is going to end. And it can be a very painful experience that will be hard to acknowledge. And hard to accept. But you can't resist this forever, you know. Maybe it can function, the resistance can function for a while, but not forever. But there is no reason to be afraid, because the card death promised that there will be changes afterwards. Your life is standing in front of big changes, and an old part of you is dying. And the circumstances in your life will mirror this. And this is not an easy thing or something easy or trivial. You have big changes waiting for you. And there may take some time for you to see it through and put it behind you. And make sure that it's gone for good. Try to think about it as something that's but that it is life, you know. Every phase, every chapter has its purpose, but we have to continue to the next, you know. Change and renew, a new beginning and a new life when you have made free from your old life. Sometimes there might even be a death, but it's not you, that it might be somebody that you know or love. But I don't like to see things like that, so I never read death on people. I see this card as big changes that are hard but necessary, and that maybe will mark you from life or be a turning point in your life that you will remember for a long time. But remember, the new is better than the old. So don't fear it, Capricorn. Don't despair, because even if it is a relationship or a friendship that is ending, or a job that is lost, if you remember the divine message, the positive message the card comes with, you should not feel despair, because something is finished with this time in your life. One chapter is over, and now you have to look to new horizons with hope and trust to the future. You know? And when it comes to other people, this could be the card that comes up there often shows us that you are, what should I say, I don't know how does it say it in English? That you have to cut ties to people. Because now it's time to cut those ties that binds you to the past. Again, the next card is also focusing that you have to make free from your past and all the emotions and sorrow. The past is holding you back in a way and is making obstacles for progress. Maybe you feel very nostalgic and sentimental, and that make your vision unclear, you know. The past that you are seeing has never really existed. This beautiful vision is just not only unrealistic, but it destroys your gift to go further and move on, both creative and emotionally. Because sometimes it seems like the memories not really is that beautiful or happy that you like to think about them. Maybe the school time was difficult, or your family didn't support you. Maybe you have a propensity to put the blame on all of your problems on this bad beginning, and when you do that, there is little one, you know. A new start is what you need, and a wholeheartedly effort to live in the now time, to live now. Maybe there is someone that if I should see a person or a sign that is the reason for this conflict, it could be somebody that has Scorpio in their chart. And when I look at, I always put some extra cards for more information, you know. That is always telling me a lot more, and because many people hate to be alone, and maybe you feel like this is a forced loneliness, you know. Maybe you need actions and unstoppable activity, always moving, because you are afraid to look too deep into yourself. And it seems like something with this has to be with immaturity, the immature and immaturity and superficial. A life full of empty words, empty conversations. And don't discard this advice. Don't throw it away, because this advice is very good, and it will be foolish of you to overlook it. Because this card is talking about stubborn self-righteousness and absolute unwillingness to listen. Because this card is also telling you that you are throwing away your time, or throwing away something in a way. In some way, because you could have used your energy more productive. Think through your life closely and look at the things that is encouraging you, and things that you are interested in. Think closely through your life and the things that you are interested in. Because there will be a person that comes with a very good advice, and this advice is foolish of you to overlook. And it really seems like this person that is the reason to this conflict is the Empress is often telling you that you feel like your creativity is blocked. The conflicts for some of you, not all of you of course, should be careful to not get pregnant with a child that you really don't want, and that there are possibilities for an abortion. It seems like there is loveless sex or meaningless erotic partnerships, or maybe even frigidity. I don't know what the fuck that is in English, but impotence, with sexual problems, or sterility. I think that is the same in English, I'm not sure. Sterile. That you are sterile, that can be a problem if you want to have a child. But most likely protect yourself if you're having occasionally sex with someone. Just for the sex, because this is a time that you could be pregnant without wanting that child, and that there are possibilities for abortion. On the material level, there could be a period with that you don't have a lot of money or material and comfort. And especially when it comes to home. Maybe a home is not somewhere you feel safe or under this influence. Maybe you discover something wrong with your house, or maybe somebody is building something next door, so you can't relax and sleep because all of the noise. Maybe you have money, but even if you have money, you will feel poor in some way. Spiritually, you are going through a hard, cold winter. emotionally and spiritually. But remember, it lies in the Empress nature to come back from the underworld each spring when she shows herself in this position. She needs a little help from you. I feel the heaviness so badly, and it makes me, I feel you, you know? I almost want to cry. But the positive thing here is that there are possibilities still. Not all is lost. And the cards are clearly saying that you have the power to do if you just let go of the past and move on. Because the warning and the advice is that you should be aware of, either it comes from you or somebody else, but I think it's most likely to you because it's in the advice position, the solution, and it warns you about selfishness and materialism. Maybe you letting the circumstances run off with you, and that will get catastrophic, because if you don't stop and think about it, it will be catastrophic. Maybe you are so busy to stick to your what you already have, that you just can't take the necessary actions when it comes. You don't take chances when the chance comes, because the card and the advice is also warning you with bad investments and loss of things that you own, property, and that your luck is over. Do you feel that do you feel like you are unfreely victim, and that do you feel like somebody is manipulating you in some way? Maybe you are pushing somebody without knowing it, in the willing to get things done. And the card is telling you and giving you advice to stop with what you are doing, and remember what I just said to you, to think about your actions. And at last, if you do this, changes is soon going to turn everything on their head. And in the start, this seems like it's brutal and hard, like a revolution, because change is necessary and positive, because it comes with freedom and knowledge in it. And the change can take many forms. It comes from the deep of your psyche, and it can be a radical change of belief or worth or behavior. And these new ways of thinking can be scary, but most likely it will just push into your conscience without no warning before. And it can seem like there also is a lot of anger, and that you maybe have in September a short temper. And that is especially if you usually is trying to keep peace, and that you are depressing your own temperament. It can also mean that you have a quick change of place to live, and that you decide to sell or buy something, and a buyer comes the next day and you find the new house place that you want just as fast, and that you in a couple of months live in a total new place, and then you will try to get your breath back. With the career, the change is not less dramatic. You can maybe you quit your job, or maybe a new salary shows up out of the blue, some money to earn or something, some new. Maybe you will shock friends and family. Maybe they're not used for you anymore, but that will show itself to be positive when it comes to the end, because most likely you are so maybe you are, as I said, it's not used for you anymore, that you are stuck in an old path, and that this revolution, a new, and this change will give you a possibility to get back on track, you know. When it comes to personal relationship, it's a warning that things cannot continue the way it has been before. Maybe this connection wasn't built on real emotions. Maybe one of you just were making fun of the other. But if the relationship is strong and lasting, it will change to the better. Even though you have to consider that it has to be a little bit shaky before things come down. And it's obvious that some of you even have it comes shooting right in. It seems like some of you, and I have to say this, I was hoping that I could say it in another way, but I have to say this. It seems like some of you has death anxiety. And you have to open to new ways of thinking and free yourself from locked up emotions, and put the grounding for new beginnings. And that you will experience a symbolic death. And maybe you even being pushed to this change through illness. That you are not sick because you are going to die. Because that is... It seems like you are afraid of dying, but it's not. It's a symbolic death. It's the getting pushed to change through sickness, because there is something that you are, as I said earlier, that you're holding on to this past or these emotions, and putting things, maybe, as I said, maybe your school time was hard, or your family didn't support you, and all these things has to let go to push and take new chances and start all over. And this will not be easy. It clearly have to have you on that team, because if you are denying and not wanting to do those changes, it will make you sicker and sicker, you know. So if you just do everything that I have said to you in this reading, it's so necessary. And when this is done and everything is settled down, you will feel so much better than you have ever done. And for some of you, you even will get healthy again. Because sometimes we are getting pushed to change through illnesses, because we can't make that change ourselves. And destiny pushes. And you are ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is the ruler of destiny and karma and everything. And if you are not wanting to change when you have to, Saturn can give you hard lessons. And for you that is ruled by the sign, there are no exceptions for you. We all have Saturn in our chart. We all have Saturn in our chart. But we can't escape it. Any of us. But you can turn this around yourself. Remember, you have to accept that some things has to end sooner or later. So why now? And I think you will feel strengthened and so much happier when this is over. But you have to make that change, Capricorn. I wish you so much luck. It's not easy, but I will be on my Facebook page, Angel Witch Tarot, if you want to connect to me and maybe get a private reading. I understand if some of you need that. It's only $20 per reading. So if you have a question or something, I will make that time for you. I feel for you, Capricorn. Good luck. You can do this. I believe in you. Blessed be in love and light. Bye.